Welcome back to MLB Central, presented by Hyundai. It is the second half, JP Morosi. Now we got to get to work. And by we, I mean you. Good morning. I'm always so curious about the White Sox. The division isn't out of reach, and the pieces that they could dangle are crazy appetizing. What's their move? Good morning, by the way. Happy Friday.
Good morning again, Lauren. Thank you so much. Yes, I'll start with Lucas Giolito because he, to me, is their main trade piece to potentially move. Yes, we could see Tim Anderson moved as well, Lance Lynn, but Lucas Giolito is having one of the best seasons of his career, and I was told yesterday by multiple sources the Dodgers are interested. Lauren, this trade situation, this particular scenario makes almost too much sense. Of course, Giolito is from L.A., went to high school at Harvard-Westlake. He's a rental. We have seen the Dodgers make significant moves for rentals in the past, whether it's Manny Machado, Yu Darvish. We know well all the Dodgers pitching injuries, concerns that they've got about their depth. And as I documented earlier in the show, they've got the most top 100 prospects of any organization in the sport. So I do think as we approach August 1, the Dodgers can probably make multiple big-time deals, and maybe they're one of the teams that's lurking there on Shohei. But I do think for a lot of reasons, a Giolito deal makes a ton of sense for the Los Angeles Dodgers.
That's so interesting. Alex Avila suggested last night Giolito and Tim Anderson out west, and he could have my jacket if he wants for 10%. You know what I mean? Easy peasy. We just saw the best of the best on display, JP, in Seattle, and I would imagine that you look at it from a different lens. Who could move? Who was just an all-star? Who's packing? What do you think?
Well, how about this? Michael Lorenzen of the Detroit Tigers. I thought that Lorenzen pitched pretty well in the All-Star game. He's been a very versatile arm for the Tigers this season. And when you're getting someone at the deadline, you want to know a few things. Number one, is he a great clubhouse guy? The answer there is yes, one of the great clubhouse guys in baseball. He's a very adaptable player. He's been a starter. He's been a reliever. He's been traded before. So you check a lot of boxes there. And I think he showed up in a big way at the All-Star game with the baseball world watching him carefully. I think he's pitched better, Lauren, than what that ERA would suggest. You see it there. It's a pretty low whip. He doesn't really walk a lot of guys. I think in the right circumstance, again, the Dodgers are certainly one possibility. A lot of other teams, whether it's the Reds, of course, where he began his career, Michael Lorenzen, I believe, will have a lot of interest to multiple teams. You're seeing Scott Harris now in his first trade deadline as the Tigers president of baseball operations. He'll want to make some moves and bring back some young talent. I think Lorenzen is one of the clear trade candidates between now and August 1st.
I was looking at Cincinnati's prospect list. There is a list for days. We will see. You know, I'm talking trades, and somewhere A.J. Preller is licking his chops. You know, he's ready. What's his plan at the deadline, JP?
Lauren, it's a really great question because the Padres, as we know, they entered the season with World Series expectations, and they now have a record below 500. At the moment, we have seen Peter Seidler, their chairman, say publicly in recent weeks that they plan to stay the course. Well, depending on how the next 10 days go, they could potentially trade two of those arms you just saw on your screen a moment ago, Blake Snell and Josh Hader, without really affecting their chances to win the World Series, at least next year. Juan Soto obviously would be a different case. He is still under control for next season. But notably, Lauren, he has not yet signed a long-term extension with the San Diego Padres. And ostensibly, the reason why the Nationals moved Soto a year ago was because they couldn't sign him. Well, a year later, the Padres haven't signed him. So we're led to wonder, what exactly does that mean? And is there a team that steps forward and feels better about their chances to sign Soto long-term and really overwhelms the Padres? I do think, to your point, A.J. Preller always enjoys making a move. And so I think he may find a way to buy and sell at the same time. Maybe he holds with Soto while moving one of those pitchers on an expiring deal, or potentially both of them, Snell and Hader. So we stay tuned and watch. But I do think their pitching has gotten a lot better in recent weeks. They still, I believe, have a good run in them during the second half.
Derek Jeter suggested the Yankees should trade for Soto. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a great idea. And listen, when you look at the New York Yankees, and by the way, how about this? You're welcome, Sean Casey, here to be a new guy to work with as the hitting coach of the Yankees.
But on a platter. Here's one.
Right. But overall, Lauren, the Yankees and the way their outfield is situated, certainly it would be a move for the next year and a half. The grand vision of the Yankee outfield this year was Bader in center, Judge in right. Because of injuries, they've only started in that alignment 11 times. all
Wow.
season long. They've had to find different ways to be creative. I would concur with the captain there. A pretty good move, I would say, for the
That
Yankees.
number is crazy. I had no idea. Hey, we saw Sal Perez in Seattle. JP, I was looking at his baseball reference. 12 years, 238 home runs, and yonder has him going to, can you guess? First guess, top of your head.
Well, I would say maybe I know Sal Perez makes his home in South Florida.
There you go.
I'm guessing maybe the Marlins there. And it's actually, Lauren, I think a fantastic idea. So credit to Yonder. And that Yonder, by the way, is going to take my title as a baseball insider because Yonder's got a great idea. I love the idea with that young Marlins staff. A lot of players who are trying to make their first significant playoff run. You take someone who has done nothing but play in big games his entire baseball career. I think he's got a chance to be a Hall of Famer in Sal Perez. They've had a pretty young tandem behind the plate. Catching wise, I think Sal would give them a lot of power, a lot of guidance to that young pitching staff. Curious, of course, to see does Eury Perez come back during the course of the second half. But I love this idea. I think, too, though, with the Royals, they really value what Salvi does on and off the field. He does have a full no-trade clause, so he would be able to guide this if, in fact, he were to be traded. But I do think, as to Yonder's point, if you were to imagine Salvi going anywhere, and I think it's still a big if, I would expect the Royals to try to keep him and help him mold this next generation of competitive Royals teams. But if he is moved, the Miami Marlins, I agree, are the best suitor of all.
Rest now, JP, because sleep is going to be scarce leading up to the deadline. You love every minute of it. Appreciate it. Have a wonderful weekend.